Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Hedera fight back against the SEC? Well, I was on Twitter recently and I came across this tweet from Hedera, and I thought I'd get into this because if you guys know anything about the SEC and how they have been going on towards crypto, it's just not good. It's really not. And I will say this, while I am a HBAR holder, I am also an XRP holder, so I have had to endure the grueling 2.5-year lawsuit that was going on. But luckily, victory came to Ripple in the end, and they got the victory on what matters, that XRP is not a security, which was great, not just for Ripple and XRP, but for the whole crypto industry. So that was very much needed. I'm very glad that that was the outcome. And so it just got me thinking about this. And first and foremost, I just want to give respect to Brett Madel here, who is the chairman who wrote this response, because one, I'm not saying he's putting his neck on the line here, but he could be putting Hedera in the firing lines. Now, I know a lot of people say that they won't have any issues because they did their sales through CAFT. But I just, when I look at how the SEC operate, I'll just be completely honest. I don't really think they care. I think if they want to go for people, they just will. And sometimes I think about this with like the Ripple versus SEC, with the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, right? Sometimes I actually do think like, was they even confident that they was going to win? Or was this just something where it was enough to stifle Ripple and hold them back? Because it's cost them a lot of money and it's held back their innovation, right? I think it's safe to say that Ripple and XRP would be much further in terms of innovation and partnerships as well as price had the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit not occurred. And so I do worry in this kind of sense, like, would this make the SEC now try and target Hedera? I really hope not, but I'll get into this just so you can see. But I do give respect where it's due anyway, because again, they're fighting the good fight here, right? They're trying to tell the SEC, look, what you're doing here, it's not good, and it's not going to help the crypto space at all. Now, I think it will fall on deaf ears, to be honest with you, because the SEC as an organization seem very stubborn and arrogant. They don't seem to feel like they can actually be told anything, and whatever they feel is the rule, is what goes. I'm someone who followed the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit in depth, and I've seen a lot of the arguments that they tried to put across, which were ridiculous to say the least. But nonetheless, they doubled down on everything that they were saying, no matter how stupid it sounded and how stupid it made them look. They just went with it. And so it's not really surprising that they lost, but you just never know, because the SEC are a legal government entity. So you always have that concern that judges might just side with them, right? Just out of just general thinking of, oh, well, you know, this is a legal entity. Like, of course, they're not going to be, you know, giving out misinformation or giving bad legal precedents or trying to make bad legal arguments. They're the good guys. And so that was the thing that concerned me. But luckily, justice did prevail. And so, as I say, I just hope this isn't something that's going to be a problem for Hedera. So let me get into what's actually happened here. I'll read the tweet as you can see, and then I'll quickly read out what they actually wrote to the SEC. Last month, in response to proposed amendments by the SEC to Exchange Act Rule 3B-16 regarding the definition of, quote, exchange, unquote, Hedera Chairman Brett Madel, in collaboration with the Hedera Governing Council, formally provided the SEC with recommendations and feedback citing significant concerns regarding the potential unintended consequences the proposed changes could bring for Web3 and DLT in the United States. So, I'll quickly get into what they've actually said here, and so you can get the gist of what they're trying to say. We strongly believe the proposal to amend Exchange Act Rule 3B-16 in brackets A to include within the definition of, quote, exchange, unquote, a group of persons that, quote, makes available communications protocols, unquote, will have unintended negative consequences for the developments of the DLT industry in the US and will ultimately run counter to the SEC's goals for this new rule by implying that validator node operators should be regulated as exchange operators. The proposal does not yet reasonably define the regulated actor nor the scope of liable actors, nor does it provide a clear or obtainable path for potentially regulated actors to comply with the requirements of the rule. As a result, the adoption of the proposal would undermine the vast benefits of distributed ledger technology, in brackets, quote, DLT, unquote, to US citizens and stifle or eliminate technological innovation. So, very bold. And don't get me wrong, it's not like the way they've addressed this is in any way hostile or anything like that, but it's just bold of them to even try and speak to the SEC because, look, they don't want to hear it. I can tell you that comfortably as an XRP holder. And it's not even just XRP. I've seen them sue another company called Library, and they had the Library token. And the way they were going on, whatever they think they believe is whatever they think is the rule of the land. They don't think they can be in the wrong. And so the way they're going on with crypto, I'm just going to be completely blunt about this because I think it is safe to say at this point, and especially with the ruling of the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, they are just trying to stifle crypto. It really is just that simple. They are. Now, if you ask me why, personally, I think it's because they're trying to protect legacy finance. I think they want crypto to either fall in the hands of legacy finance or they don't want crypto to destroy legacy finance. So I think that's what they're ultimately trying to protect, in my opinion. Regardless of the reasons, that is what they're doing. They are stifling the crypto industry. They're trying to sue random coins at will whenever they feel like it. They're saying pretty much all cryptos are securities except for Bitcoin, which is ridiculous. And they are relentless with their approach. They really are. So I hope that this doesn't lead to any legal implications for Hedera and HBAR. I hope this doesn't put them in the crosshairs or anything like that. I think what they've said is very respectful and it does make sense. Like trying to call a node operator an exchange now it's just such a stupid idea. And, you know, to think that every single node operator is now running an exchange, like it doesn't even make sense. Like the arguments that they put forward are just so outlandish. It's just so crazy. I mean, I'd understand if they were at least being reasonable with some of the things that they tried to propose, but they're really just going wild with these types of ideas that they're trying to put forth. But nonetheless, they are trying to do this and they are trying to make this law. And so if these kind of things do get accepted, it's going to be a problem. It is. And that's why Brett Madel has done it, because he can see how much of an impact this would have. And he's not wrong at all. So I do respect the fact that he's going out of his way to try and, one, shed light to this and also give them an alternative thought process to this. But we will see if it has any impact. Personally, I don't think it will have any impact at all in terms of the SEC. I don't think they're going to listen to this. I don't think it's going to be something that they take in and now consider. I don't think they really care what any crypto company has to say. I think my thing more is just, will this now make them try and create issues for HBAR and Hedera? I hope not. I should think they wouldn't. But look, I think if the SEC want to go for companies, they will. We saw what they did with Ripple and they lost. So I don't think this is going to stop them, in my personal opinion. I think they will continue to bring lawsuits out because it is still damaging companies regardless. Even if they lose in the end, it is still damaging them. And I think the thing is, with how bad they've looked from the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, it's almost like anybody who's watched this and know about them, they can't really look any worse than what they already do, because there's been signs of like corruption there with Ethereum, and there's been bad arguments coming through, They've obviously lost credibility because they lost the lawsuit, so that just makes them look bad in of itself because they clearly can't articulate their legal arguments and win them. So that already makes them look bad. So they've lost a lot of credibility, and I think they've probably lost a lot of faith in the eyes of the general public, because a lot of people who were never really looked at the SEC in any kind of way, when they've seen this lawsuit that they did to Ripple and watched how it unfolded and the things that they tried to put across, it showed you how corrupt they are and how, I'll just be honest, how bad legally they represent themselves. Their arguments are really not, they're just nonsensical. They really don't have valid arguments at all. So I'll leave it there because I could ramble on about this all day, but I thought I'd let you know. I thought I'd just show you guys this because it's good to see that Brett Madel is trying to fight the good fight. I definitely like that, because I said this numerous times, but we've got to try and protect the crypto industry. Because if the SEC have their way, it's not going to thrive in America, and that's going to damage the whole crypto industry anyway, because America is a huge economy. So, of course, it's going to impact all the other crypto companies if the United States haven't got access to it. So, overall, I definitely respect this. I just hope that this doesn't lead to any further implications. But what do you guys think? Brett Madel trying to fight the good fight for the crypto industry, and obviously letting the SEC know where they're going wrong with their new try and proposed changes. Do you agree with this? Do you think this is going to be good? Do you think this is something that the SEC will take on board? Or like me, are you a little bit concerned now that they may try and aim and take fire at Hedera and try and basically stifle HBAR just simply because we tried to show them the error of their ways? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.